Chris Yandex, CYInterview covering Las Vegas and the world. If you haven't already, please hit the like button below and please hit the subscribe button below to keep up with everything we have going on here at CYInterview in Las Vegas and beyond. We greatly appreciate it. We want to introduce fitness influencer and role model Lesley Maxwell all the way from Melbourne, Australia today. Now, if you go on Instagram, she has over 145,000 followers at lesleymaxwell.fitness. She says, over 60 is just a number, and she's absolutely right, and she's inspiring people all across the world with her fitness. Lesley, thanks so much for being on CYInterview all the way from Australia today. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Chris, and thanks so much for having me and inviting me on your fabulous show.
We're happy to have you. So I'm just going to ask you a random question before we get into all the fitness stuff in your life story. Are you having as much fun in your life or more than you did in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s?
Actually, I'm not just like I am having more, and that's because I'm allowing all of my sides to come through. I'm allowing all of me to be how I want to be. I'm not trying to please anyone. I don't have to impress anyone. I don't have to stay in boundaries I don't want to. It's like I can be me and embrace my many sides, which is what I'm doing.
So, we go to Instagram, and of course, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And in your case, you are the epitome of fitness and looking great. So tell us, how did you get started on this journey?
I've always had a thing about fitness and health, and I've tried many different avenues. It's like things like veganism, lots of cardio. Back in the day when we just had classes, and even in the times when we had figure salons where all you could do was stand in front of the sort of the vibrating machine and it would wiggle your backside, and people were still in heels. Like, I go back a long way. And what started my journey was I just separated from my husband at the time, and I mean it was lovely being an Italian. I'm not Italian, but he was, and I became that Italian wife to try and please everyone in the family and try and stay in the guidelines and not wear bikinis on my honeymoon and not do all these things, and I completely lost my identity, truly. I mean, so then of course, it was great having young children and everything, but then you're a mother, you're a giver, you're a wife, you're everything, as we do, and you tend to close your own self up. And it was a time then I got my PT certificate when I separated from him. And a little while later, I saw a fitness competition on TV, and I saw these women in heels and doing these poses and whatever. And I just wanted to do it because at the time I was actually in hospital with pneumonia, and I thought, I thought I was losing, like I was barely 50, and I thought my life was over in a way, not dead, but I thought there was nothing exciting on the horizon. And then I decided to take up training to the next level and compete.
And now you train others, right?
I do. I've been a personal trainer for well over 10 years, and I just love it. Honestly, I just, because I love changing people's lives. It's like you can actually give them their spark back, get them feeling good again, get their sexy back, give them confidence, apart from change their health. I could talk to you fully about all the great benefits of muscle, training, strength training, stronger bones, sarcopenia, osteoporosis, blah. But if we go down the path of just keeping it general and keeping how it makes us feel, like it gives you your youth back again, but you've got the knowledge, so hopefully you've learned a few things along the way, and then you have this younger body to do what you like. So it can be really fun.
Except for you, who absolutely obviously has a lot of self-confidence. There's no denying that, the way that you express yourself. Have you worked with some clients who literally their self-esteem was just at an all-time low, and then once they got on a path of better health, better choices, their self-confidence went up? Of course, we want all of the nutritional and health benefits of working out and eating a better diet, but let's just talk about the emotional part of it and how it can help somebody.
Definitely, it really helps. It helps women, I suppose, feel not invisible, or like, because what happens with men, they keep their health, they keep their, muscle and tone, whatever. The majority of the time, it's because they have more testosterone, more hormones. They can reproduce at 90. Women, we start to run out of hormones and things, so we need to take charge somehow and help your body along the way. And when you do that, of course, you're feeling like you're fitting into your clothes again, or they feel stronger again, or they can move properly, as far as, just walk with that extra confidence. And yeah, they do feel sexier, and it helps even within their marriages and within their personal life. And if they're not married and single, of course, it gives people confidence to go out and feel good about themselves as well.
Yeah, I think obviously it's incredibly tragic, when, I'm about to be 40 next year, and, I like walking very long distances. Like I could walk for 2 hours nonstop straight outside,
Oh,
and that would be a warm up. I mean, I'm sure you could do that as well. But the reality of what it comes down to at the end of the day is that it's just kind of like the whole, well, this is just it. This is what my life is, and I'm just going to keep gaining weight until I die. I think that's a very sad commentary one way or on the world.
yeah, I think so. And because people think that's the only way, the only pathway, that's all they can do. But when you give people hope and encouragement that they can actually maintain a younger body and live in a healthier, happier way, because when you don't have aches and pains, when you can fit into clothes you want, plus you're agile and strong, and you don't have, you've got a bit of firm about you and things. I mean, it does give you the confidence. And feeling at the end of the day, health is all we have. Like, you can have anything, you can have all the diamonds in the world, anything. But if you don't have your health, you have nothing. So, health is the number one thing, and doing it in a way where you're changing the shape of your body and giving yourself a bit of self-confidence. Yeah, and looking maybe that bit younger because you don't feel doubted. Because what happens, people, of course, develop bad posture and things too when they're, when they're not strong enough to carry themselves properly. So it's really beautiful. And the way I train, I actually can change body shapes. Like, you can add some shape here, you can add a bit more of a shapely butt, you can bring the waist in, you can, because I've had body sculpting experience. I've done over 35 competitions and won world titles and things. So I've had experience in lots of things, both being a mum of 3, not knowing how to train, learning how to train, being a personal trainer, winning comps. And even people get off comp diets and they blow out and they don't know what to do there, where I make it not like a competition diet. You're actually probably eating more than you'd ever eat, but it's a lifestyle, like you're just being aware of your macros. I know I'm just going on and on. I just want to give people hope and tell them there's so much that they can do. And yes, it just feels great. And I love spreading the word and giving some information.
Well, I think if they go to your Instagram, lesleymaxwell.fitness, they're going to get a lot of hope and inspiration. There's no denying that. So let's break it down and go back for a second, and let's talk about your routine. What do you do? Do you do weight training? Do you do running? Do you do cardiovascular training? A little of both? Like, what do you like doing?
Okay, well, people talk about cardio because that's the word. It's short for cardiovascular, like just what you said. With cardio, the basic thing is raising your heart rate, whether you run an exercise bike, a treadmill. So I don't do that. I actually, if you're lifting weights properly, your heart rate is up. So weight training will also give you the other things that women need. We need a bit of muscle mass. Women are afraid of that word, but they love the word tone. They want to be toned, but they don't want muscle. But muscle is tone. Without muscle, we have body fat and skin and bone. That's it. So we need the tone. So I would suggest prioritize weight training because that gives you the tone. And if you're lifting properly, your heart rate is up, so it's cardio. And then if you've got time and want to go for a walk or want to go on the treadmill or go for a swim or something, do that. That will change your body more than you focusing on the cardio. That's like running on a hamster wheel. We want to change the shape and health of our body. So having that lean body tissue is priority 1, and also strengthens your bones at the same time. So my routine is I weight train only 4 times a week myself, and it's about an hour a time. So I spend 4 hours a week, big deal, on my body, like. And the rest of the time, the secret is what you eat.
Did you always have a tendency of being towards somewhat muscular?
No, I've been actually thin and frail at one stage, where even my husband, number 3, I've had an interesting life, one time said to me, you look really frail. I was walking home from the shops, and he happened to be driving home from work, and he said I looked really frail. And I thought, wow, frail, that's an old word. I don't want to be frail. And I've also been quite a bit softer, because when I didn't understand about weight training and eating protein and things and how to train, so I was a bit softer. Like, I was actually about 6 kilos or maybe 7 heavier than I am now. And that was before I discovered how to train and started, living that lifestyle. Changing things along the way, I've completely got my own method of training and my own method of eating. So I've been like my own human experiment.
So let me just say this. There's an old expression that you can't outrun a donut. It's also said that abs are built in the kitchen and not in the gym. So tell us what your nutritional plan is like.
Okay, my nutrition, it's gone over the time where I've even been vegan for a while, vegetarian. I've tried it all. And when you're vegan, you're just not being fair to yourself. You're not prioritizing yourself with your health, which is fine if you want to save, animals and things. I understand that. But nature is cruel, and the strong survive in a way. So if you, for instance, if you're a vegan and you're living on lentils for your protein, or chickpeas, legumes for protein, or for example, 1 cup of lentils is about 40 grams of carbs, or maybe that's half a cup. Anyway, 40 grams of carbs for 7 grams of incomplete protein. So I have 100 grams of protein a day. That was going to be a lot of lentils, and I'm going to be bloated, and I might have gut issues after that. And I'm not getting complete protein. But if you have, say 3 eggs, you've got your 20 grams of protein there with no carbs. So you've got to just understand what you're doing. So for me to consume 100 grams of protein, approximately, I don't even weigh my food. I just know with looking at it, that's what I'm having. For me to get the 100 grams in, I really have to eat 5 times a day. I can't my diet's almost carnivore with a carb. And instead of eating 1 meal, I break it into 4 or 5. So it's very interesting, but it really works because it gives you enough time to digest that protein and utilize it. You're stabilizing your hunger. Also, I eat saturated fats. I don't eat anything low fat. And so it's quite different.
Do you emphasize fruits and vegetables for the sake of health?
I have a minimal amount of vegetables, and I have a little bit of fruit seasonally if I feel like it. So I don't have a lot of fruit. I do have, when I talk about my diet being carnivore with a carb, carnivores have no carbs. I still include rice, not brown, white, because I don't like the husks on the rice. It's not good for gut health. And occasionally I'll have a little bit of potato, not very often, but not many carbs, no. And sprouted grain bread with my poached eggs on in the morning. So I do have a little bit of carbs, but mainly protein and saturated fats.
I really love, again, from the top of your Instagram, you say over 60 is just a number. And of course, you're an extraordinary example of how we can age and stay looking phenomenal. What might you share with our audience that might not always think about when it comes to, staying in shape?
Just don't look at numbers. Something interesting about me, I think, and I've never really shared this, is I've never had a birthday. My birthday, I never have celebrated my birthday. It's actually on Valentine's Day. Don't tell anyone. It's on Lover's Day and everyone's busy, and I've just never really bothered celebrating. So in a way, I just don't have that thing like, oh, it's coming up to this or that. So don't have birthdays. Be as you feel and feel good. is up to us. Feeling good is up to us. We can take charge. Don't have birthdays, don't celebrate them.
Guess what we were talking about prior to the CY interview is that I love that you're an inspiration, and I love that you're inspiring people across the world of college. Obviously, you're in Melbourne, Australia, but as we were talking about, it shouldn't have to be this way, that you're an exception. Everybody could be you. Everybody could be out having fun. Everybody could feel the way that you do.
Absolutely. Honestly, I think part of it is the other thing. I don't watch TV, like news or what I'm supposed to be doing. Because if I ever have clicked on a mainstream channel and I see, going to a retirement home, some older people advertising something else, I just think, wow, that's so depressing. I know it might be a strange thing to do, just shut yourself off from that, but sometimes you have to. Like, it's not that it interests me. If anything, I watch mainstream and it will make me feel a bit anxious or whatever. I like living in my health and art bubble and seeing people and everything as well. And I know what's going on in the world, but I just don't follow it every day, and I don't look at the ads, and because they'll sort of have you farmed off into a retirement village or something. Don't do that. Stay fit and strong and get a younger lover.
Well, let's talk about your dating life. If you want to go there first, of course, can we go there?
Oh yes.
So my point of what it comes down to is that it's the point is that it's just like, you date whoever you want. You date younger men. Men think you're attractive. You've had an interesting life, obviously. You've had 3 children. You've been married. But it's like you have never given up on having fun. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your dating life?
My dating life, well, it's not that I don't even do like online dating or go out especially to date. But if I'm approached and I'm single, well, then I might, if I like the person, I'll go out. And they're always younger than me because I don't feel it, and I don't ask them until maybe later I'll find out and go, oh, that's a big age gap. But just be, like I say, how you feel and make yourself feel great, not just mentally, but physically. Put a bit of work in and just be thoughtful to your body and, do some of those things I suggested and be ageless. I mean, only us, I'm sure us humans, we're the only ones that invented time or something as far as years and clocks, and just be you and be healthy and strong and have fun. I do have days too. I'm not saying I'm always giggly and laugh. Some days are serious. I've got to get my stuff together and, snap myself into the gym. The gym always picks you up, though. That's the other thing. It's a mental outlet as well as physical. Have you noticed that, Chris?
Yeah.
With your running and things, I'm sure you're the same.
Motivation is tough for all of us, but the point is, if we don't do the work, how do we get there? And then, see, that's the point, though, is that people don't understand all of the work and all of the time you have put in to get to where you are, and they just want to, have instant success and instant love and instant companionship and instant beauty and instant this and instant that, and you obviously put in the work for a long time to maintain what you have.
Well, the hardest thing of all, I suggest to your audience, don't think about, I've got to go in there and do lap pull downs. Just turn up. Focus on, put your lippy on, put your nice clothes on, whatever, and turn up to the door and start your first exercise. Turning up is the hardest part for most people. Walking through those doors, and then after your first exercise, just start to feel, oh, I'll do that. Now I'll do this. And now, so I look at it as a mental and health release too. It's a great thing.
I want to finish with a couple of them. What do you, for, when you go for your yearly checkups and you see your doctors, what do they tell you about your health?
Well, you're not going to like this. I don't really, I'm not on medication, or I don't do anything. So I stay away from a lot of, interventional type things. But I know my heart rate's always perfect. The only time I have true checks is like at a health expo, and it'll say bone density, this, and it's all always, 30 years younger or something than it's supposed to be. But I listen to my own health. I listen to my gut. I don't even own weight scales. I step on them occasionally at another gym I train in. But you've got to be in tune with your body. Know even when you can feel your blood sugar levels dropping a bit, have something to eat, pick them up again. Really listen to your body. Sometimes the more devices people have, like I have people I train, and sometimes they look at their watch thing and see how their heart rate's going or how many calories, and sometimes I'll say, well, it's not enough, so stop looking. Listen, look, okay, you've got your own senses as well. Maybe listen, maybe do that on the side, but if it says you're doing great and you look in the mirror and you're still not, then you need to change something still. So as far as those readings and things, they're usually really good, way below my age, and I'm not on any medication. So
I'm sure you get a lot of questions and compliments in your DMs from fellow women talking about how you maintain your skin tone, which is absolutely amazing. Why don't you tell me about that?
Well, you can't, like, people might think that you've had work done, and maybe one day I will. I'm not saying I won't. But when it comes to your skin, it's just from the inside out. So you must fuel your body, and it's not by just dieting and cutting calories and going hungry. And, like the food pyramid, by the way, is upside down. We shouldn't be eating all those carbs, which is just sugar. Like fuel your body with what it needs. And even having things like bone broths, which is natural gelatin, heals your joints and is good for your skin health. And eggs are the most complete protein there are, and fat. So I think fueling your body from the inside out, it's not that you can't obviously have operations everywhere. It's not that I'm doing anything. It's honestly from the inside out. I use really natural products on my skin, like paw ointment or something. I don't do anything fancy. It's all food.
Makes sense. So let's talk in closing. Let's talk about the work you do as a trainer every day in Melbourne, Australia. Is LesleyMaxwell.fitness the best way for people to reach out to you if they're in Australia, if they'd love to get trained by you? How does it work?
They can, yes, reach out like that. That'd be great. And if I don't get to you on my Instagram messages, people, I'm sorry, I have so many. I'm going to have some help on that. But yes, no, that's the best way to get to me. That would be fantastic. Or through my Instagram.
Well, last one, obviously, besides everyone's on the internet, trying to get their positive message out and make a business, maybe you pick up a client. But why did you think it was important to share your story and share who you are and share the progress that you've made in your life on social media?
Well, I think because I think it's important to be out there. I used to write for Oxygen magazine in Australia for 5 years, so you were getting your message out hard copy. And then the magazine sort of closed, and I still want to inspire women and men and just be out there and just share my story, and hopefully I can make women feel ageless and take charge of their life as well, and know that it's okay to have some time for you and to sometimes say, sorry, family, this is my 1 hour, or whoever it is, I'm just going to train or something. Because we women are givers as humans, and we tend to, I've had women that will train with me for a couple of weeks, and the next week, oh no, look, I have to wash the sheets for my daughter-in-law or something. I'm like, okay, couldn't they wait for 1 hour? I know I sound selfish, but sometimes if you don't look after you, you're going to be the one needing help, and then you'll be the burden. So you've got to take care and look after yourself, ladies, and get healthy and strong. I'm sure you are. I don't need to sound like Miss Bossy.
I think, honestly, to tell you the truth, it sounds wonderful, because I'll leave you with this point, is that the reality of what it comes down to is that it's just kind of like, again, why shouldn't you be able to enjoy your life to the last minute of your life, being able to physically move around, go where you want, and do what you want to do? You're not going to be limited on traveling the world at another country or flying across the world if you want to at any given moment. But a lot of people, they get to a certain age, they can't do it anymore. I mean, the point is there's no limitations on your life, and that's how we should all live to the day that we die, is being able to physically move around in this world and be able to, not have limitations.
Well said, Chris. It is good. But like I mentioned before, women tend to be the ones that's sort of ingrained in them, especially women my age, maybe not so much the younger ones now, I'm not sure. But they are used to being the givers. The family are even used to them being there all the time. I've got clients that just fully mind all the grandchildren and things and barely have time, and they've raised their own kids. And I know that's beautiful, and I think it's lovely, but when they just neglect themselves, it makes me feel a bit sad. So I hope I can inspire women to put that 1 hour aside and to train and to remember that you're allowed to eat a bit more than other people, or eat differently, or do whatever to fuel your body, even if they think you're strange. Sometimes that's really difficult too, changing your identity sort of in front of your people. Like if they say, oh, Mum's gone crazy, she's lifting weights and eating eggs, what's wrong with her? But it would be so good.
Fitness influencer and role model, and of course, Instagram star Lesley Maxwell. Check her out at lesleymaxwell.fitness. Thank you so much for being on CYInterview today, Lesley. Of course, if you like this video, please hit the like button below. Please hit the subscribe button below to keep up with everything we have going on here at CYInterview in Las Vegas. And beyond. Again, Lesley, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Chris, for the great interview. Bye-bye, everyone.